Roll, who drove it, said it's his favourite rally car of all time. Hello everybody, welcome to number 27. I'm Jack, and today we're going to go and see one of the legends of rally. And we're going to go and see it in something that couldn't be more different. Oh, bit grumpy until it's warmed up. So I have a friend who works at Middle Barton Garage, who some of you will know. They're renowned Fiat specialists, old Abarth stuff. Anyway, he sent me a picture this week saying, how about doing a video on one of these? He was joking, of course. He didn't think I'd take him up on it, but basically they are doing a recommissioning on a Lancia 037, which is an absolutely legendary rally car. We are going possibly in the most inappropriate car possible, which is an Austin product. Oh, come on! An Austin product of the 60s. Couldn't be more different from an Italian rally car, but I love this little thing. I haven't had a chance to do much with it recently because I've been doing stuff on the Alfa and the Ferrari, and the fueling still needs a bit of work. So I've already done a bit of changing the jets. So for those of you that don't know, do the fueling by putting different size jets so they let in more or less fuel into the combustion chamber. And it has improved. Doesn't sound like it now, but that's just because it's cold. It has improved, but I think there's still room to go, and I think it's still running a bit rich really. So we'll go there, do the video on the 037, and then we'll play about with the fueling a little bit on lovely old Fred here as well. You will notice, of course, that the speedo doesn't work, and the tacho works up to about 1200 revs, which is massively useful. But that's the beauty of an old car, and to be fair, it's not this car's fault. It's because I've mucked around with the engine and gearbox. The speedo I will need to get some bits for from the States to get it to work so that it can mate up to the new gearbox. And the tacho, I don't know, I've put an electronic one in the guts of it, but it doesn't seem to be working. Also, lovely, I mean, not lovely, but last time I drove this car, it filled up with water, and I am never doing that again. It took me so long to dry it out. Honestly, there was just loads of water in the bottom of it, and it was a terrible journey. I wish the windscreen wipers at least worked. My God, a truck! Before we get there, one thing I think that tells you quite how significant this car is. Roll, who drove it, said it's his favourite rally car of all time. Well everybody, welcome to the Lancia 037 or 037, I'm not sure what the correct nomenclature is, but this is a fearsome beast and one of only 200 cars produced worldwide. That 200 also includes the rally cars. I've never even seen one of these on the road, I've only ever seen them in museums and in pictures, so I couldn't miss this opportunity to come and have a look at it. Now, unfortunately and shockingly, I'm not going to get to drive this £500,000 car. But my friend Anton, who works here at Middle Barton Garage, thank you very much, Anton, and especially Tony, who runs this place, for the fantastic opportunity, by the way, of coming and letting me poke around this car. Anyway, Anton has driven it because he took it to get MOT'd. We've got a little GoPro clip here from that, but his feedback was the engine and gearbox are immense, fantastic, instant response. At the moment, it needs setting up in terms of geometry and so on, so actually it doesn't really drive very well. It's got a lot of bump steer and so on. So why are these so special? Well, first of all, this was the last ever rear-wheel drive car to win Group B rally, so to win the World Rally Championship. After that, the Audi Quattro was already there actually, and this did beat it in its second year. But after that, four-wheel drive just became too dominant and there was nothing that could be done. But for 1 year, for one last glorious year, this rear-wheel drive car won the World Rally Championship, and it was the last to do so. Secondly, a few years after this was made, Group B as a class of rally was actually outlawed for being too dangerous. Lancia designed this from the ground up to be a world-beating rally car, and they had to homologate 200 road-going versions to make it legal. This is one of those road-going versions. It's called the Stradale. It differed in a few ways from the rally car, but really it's out and out, as you'll see from the design and everything else, it is pretty much the same thing. They just had to make it legal. For example, some things like this rear window, surprisingly actually, is in glass rather than in plastic, which makes the rear clam quite heavy to lift, heavier than you'd think. Essentially, it was based on the centre section from the Lancia Monte Carlo, which was their then mid-engined car. But really, the centre section of this chassis is the only thing that remained. Even the engine, which on the Monte Carlo was transversal, is actually longitudinal on the 037 in order to be able to move it further forward. Walter Roll was one of the drivers that took this car to victory in 1983. Really significantly, the legendary Roll says that this is his favourite ever rally car of all time to drive. He likened it to driving a Formula One car because of its precision, its lightness and its balance. So that kind of endorsement in itself is pretty incredible, really. Let's have a look at the interior now. Well, it's clearly super functional. There's no fancy materials here, but you can see it's there for a purpose, really. The gear change is nice and short and stubby and feels nice. I can just sort of picture myself. The red line there is sort of 7,000 RPM. This is just a very special place to be. You've obviously got your roll bars here, but really the seats are completely at odds. They're really comfortable, they're in Vela material, they've got that sort of Lancia feel at the time. It was after all supposed to be a luxury car maker, so it goes from being actually really quite nicely trimmed in some things like these door cards and so on, these really plush seats, and then you have this uber functional dashboard there with all these sort of rally switches and stuff. There isn't a huge amount of room in here, I have to be honest. I am 6'1", and I do fit just about, but not very comfortably. These are, oh, they are really, they're sun visors shaped in an arc so that they can fit over the roll bar. That's quite a cool thing to see. For this application, Lancia decided to use a supercharger. That was to make sure that there was going to be instant response. The 037 had a 2-litre 4-cylinder that was derived from the one used for the Fiat 131 rally car and develops just 205 horsepower, which by today's standards seems quite meagre. The road-going version is actually porkier than you'd think. It's 1,150 kilos, so it's not particularly right. Some people seem to go absolutely nutty over these cars, and to be completely honest, in the past I never quite understood why. Having seen it in the flesh, I kind of understand it, and there's a real purity about it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a beautiful car, but it certainly is pure, and it has like an aggression with a bit of an elegance to it. all the same, what a privilege to be able to see it and poke around with it in the flesh. Thank you all. Oh no, I haven't finished. Yeah, I was going to say thank you all for watching, but of course, we have to now move on to a much more sophisticated car and have a quick play around with the jets on the carb. Well, there's some good news and some bad news. Good news is that the smaller main jets definitely seem to be making a difference. The leaner carbs up top definitely have smoothed things out. I still don't think it's running as well as it could do, but I think it'll do for now, really, until I have time to take it on a proper rolling road session. It's good enough. Thank you everyone for watching. As always, please follow my Instagram, which is